open mic day. That's to come next week, and also share your setup. And today I'm going to, I'll host it because I think I can show the photos that Matt had said to me. And what I want him to do is to kind of talk through his setup maybe for the next, I don't know, however long you want to go, Matt. You got it until 12 noon. So if you want to go 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 25 minutes, that's going to be up to you. But to you guys out there, I want to let you know that give Matthew a good plug. You can follow Matt and let me know. Make sure that I have this right here. Tickle underscore, right? Trader.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
No, I've got it wrong. Yep, I've got it spelt wrong here before I put it up here. So I'm going to get this right. And one more. Trader. Okay. So if you want to follow Matthew, he's at Tactical Trader on Instagram. I follow him. Let's pump him up. Give him a follow on Instagram. We will love to help our fellow traders out here when we can. I started following Matt. I think we've been in contact, Matt, for about a year now or so.
Yeah, it's been a
year. And he's developed his brand, his tactical brand. Has got hats and mouse pads and other things like that. So he's developing a brand. He's developing his trading skills, and he's been with Tradenet for a while. And I think what you're going to find is Matt will talk through his setup, maybe give you some idea of how he started off, because it hasn't been a pleasant journey. It hasn't been a journey where everything has been perfect. And I think when you start to listen to Matthew's journey and talk a little bit about his setups, and Matthew, I've got the four pictures you sent me. We can go through each one of them and kind of take a look at the at all of the ones that you have, and then kind of go from there.
Okay.
And then go and talk about each one of them. So let me go back here to one of the emails, and just give me 1 second, and then I'll get Matt up here, and then I'll let him take over. But traders, I think you're going to enjoy it, and we'll try to do this each and every week. And you guys will see, I think, some pretty cool setups, some things that people are doing a little bit different than what you do, and doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong, but I think it's cool anyway. So Matt, my friend, take it away, and I'm going to put the first slide here, and maybe you can talk about that, maybe introduce yourself and let everybody know where you're at, where you live, what you do,
okay,
and we'll go from there.
All right, sounds great. Hi everyone, Matthew Coleman. I go by Tactical Trader on Instagram. I joined Tradenet about a year ago, I think, almost. And the first slide that you see there is my mobile setup. I call it my mobile command center. That is a Surface Pro 4. It's a 16 gigabytes of RAM with an i7 core connected to a USB powered Asus monitor. Now I can rotate that monitor in landscape or portrait mode. I use this when I'm out on the go. The reason I got it is because I wanted something light. I'm in IT professionally, so I need something I can move with, have a lot of horsepower to run the applications I need to get on to servers and so forth, and it allows me to run my Tradenet day trading platform from it. It's a pretty good system. I like it. My home systems are they're somewhat similar. They all run off the Surface Pro. I just have little augmentations here and there to them. But I use preferably the Thinkorswim platform for charting, just because it's what I cut my teeth on. And I tried other platforms, and it's almost like on in baseball, you have to have a hitter's eye. Certain pitchers, batters can't get their pitches lined up to get their hitter's eye on the ball, or golfers will say that hole I just can't. I don't have a feel for it. Thinkorswim is what I cut my teeth on. It's what I'm used to, so I use it. Moving on from there, trading hasn't been all roses. Like Scott said, it's been pretty difficult. You start off, you don't know what you're doing. You're trying to learn in a vacuum. You go out and you try to find a mentor. And there is a second setup. That's my main command center, as I call it. My docking station connects up to my Surface Pro, and behind the docking station I have four 27-inch monitors that can all be put in portrait or landscape mode. It allows me to have multiple screens up. I use 4 different time frames. I use the 5, the 10, the 15, and the 30 to set out my support and resistance levels. I also use indicators to give me an idea where the stock may go. Some people don't use indicators, and that's fine. You don't have to. I use what helps me. Indicators, I consider them like it's when you're on the freeway and you see someone with their left turn signal on. That indicates they're going left. Doesn't mean they're going to go left. They could go right. They could hit the brakes. But indicators help out. But trading hasn't been.
Yeah, and Matt, the one thing that I found interesting, traders, is that all of these that Matt has, and Matt, maybe you can expound on this.
Mm-hmm.
You're running these 4 monitors, these 4 27-inch monitors off of one laptop, correct?
Yeah. I use what's called a pluggable docking station. Pluggables are really affordable docking station. They have really good products. I use them for the docking station, and they have some other USB products I use. But you can connect this pluggable docking station into a USB port on your laptop, and then it will port out to 3 to 4 monitors and have it pushed across the board. It's absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend them.
Yeah, that was the first question out of my mind. When I saw Matt's setup, when I saw this setup here and I saw the what he was telling me about about getting it to the point where, hey, I've got all these monitors and I see the laptop over here, and I'm like, just like anybody here in the room would say, it's like, hey, Matthew, where's your computer at? And lo and behold, the support that he has there, being an IT guy, he runs everything off of the laptop. So, and I'll let Matthew explain that a little bit more, but I got to tell you, everybody that's after, the ultimate setup, that's after the ultimate desktop, that's after the ultimate RAM capabilities, this and that, you can get around that with a laptop and the monitors. So, Matthew, I apologize for interrupting, but I just wanted to plug that for you.
No, that by all means. You want flexibility. I used to try to go and try to find desktops and spec them out, but when it came down to it, I was like, I need something for work, and I need something that can do everything I want to do, basically. And Pluggable was that brand. They have all sorts of ports that allow you to connect up to the front and the back. And I can place a link into, if you guys want in chat, for the pluggable docking station, the one I use. It just goes to a USB 3 port. Once you plug it in, it loads the driver itself, and then it's off to the races. They really have really good support too. I've had a couple of issues. Once I email them, they email me right back, and they're real quick to resolve it. I like that. I'm really big on customer service.
Absolutely, I think you should share that with the team.
Yeah. But about my trading experience, I've blown up multiple accounts, just like anyone else who started out. I know I blew up, I think, my first and second Tradenet account, just because you get in there, you're gun-ho, you think you have an idea of what to expect because you've traded on a demo. You've been successful on some trades. You've taken really big trades. I know I've taken some big trades as far as wins, and I've taken even larger losses. And the ability to bounce back from those losses, keep your eye on the ball, reduce your share size to your lowest size that you're allowed to use, and you'll gain off that. You build off positive momentum off your base. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think do you want to show the next slide?
Yeah, let me see if I can grab that here and share the others with you guys. Just hold on for one moment.
Yeah.
Let's see, which one is that, Matt? I think second email.
Yeah, I think that's in the second email. But why Scott's loading that up? Um, you'd be surprised. Like I reached out, I think it was to Matt Diamond, and asked him about his trading experience. And Matt's a good guy. Matt reached out to me right away. He's like, hey, and we started swapping ideas. And, and that's how I got in touch with Tradenet, and that's how I got in touch with Scott. And I reached out to Scott. The point I'm trying to get across is you can reach out to anyone in this field most likely, and they're going to respond to you, and they'll be happy to to share information, to try to give you a little guidance where they can. And that's one of the things that really kind of took me back at first. I thought people would like, hey, I'm not telling you anything. Why would I tell you how I make money? People want to share their ideas, and that's one thing I like about trading, especially with Tradenet. I can reach out to Scott on a daily basis if need be. Tell him I had a hard day. Tell him I had a great day. I know I've reached out to Clifton once or twice. Tell him I had a hard day. It's just your share. It's a sharing community. You're sharing ideas. Um, it's one of the best communities out there. I've been part of other ones where you're not allowed to talk, and I'm not going to try to name names, but they put a muzzle on you if you say something, or ones that are just full of everyone's there to party. And this is one of the best rooms out there, hands down. And that's just a good professional advice that I can give you.
And this is not a paid announcement.
Yeah, I'm not paid for this. By all means, that's the word I was trying to get out. But one thing I like about this room.
Let me do one
Go ahead.
thing.
Go ahead. One thing I like about this room.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm just gonna.
All right. I'll go over my own watch list. I create my own watch list on my own, and then I get into the room. And when I start to see, there it is. That's my second command center. When I start to see my watch list is starting to mirror Scott's or Mears, I know I'm on to something. And especially if they start having the same ideas that I'm having about the trade. You look at a stock and you start to realize, oh, wow, hey, that may gap down. Like I think on EXEL this morning, I put on my Instagram, I was like, this could tank at the open. It could reverse, and it did basically almost that. It tanked at the open. It had a little bit of a bounce, but it couldn't get past that $half mark at 25.55, and then it just kept tanking. I mean, you get better as you go along. The more you share ideas with other people, you start thinking like they think. You start seeing it a little clearer. This picture is my last setup. It's in my bedroom. It's in the back. It's where I want to get some alone time when the family's getting too loud for me. This one is, the bottom monitors are two 24-inch monitors, and the top ones are 22-inch monitors. But all these are running off my Surface Pro 4. And they all connect via the pluggable docking station that I have in the back, and everything just ports right into it. It's great. It's a great product. I can't say enough good things about it. Yeah. But if anyone's ever interested in reaching out to me,
Matt, do you want to type in the room the product that you use to plug in all the monitors with, because I think people will want to, and if there's a link or whatever,
absolutely.
It's a Surface Pro, I think.
Yeah.
If you'll do that, people can take a look at it so they'll understand what you're talking about.
Absolutely, I can do that right now. But if anyone ever wants to reach out to me, feel more than free to. I'm happy to answer any question I can answer. And if I can't, I'll at least point you in the right direction of someone I believe can answer it for you. Thanks, Fat. There's Scott. Let me see here. There we go. Yeah, this docking station that I have is under $100, so it's well within everyone's budget here. Let me go ahead and paste this in here now. There we go. That's the link for the docking station.
There you go.
Now with this docking,
Matt, do you want to talk about? Go ahead. You could talk about your docking station and all, and then also talk about the challenges that you've had, in your trading, and what has helped you or hurt you. What are some of the tips that you can give to any of the traders here that would help them not do the same thing and maybe not blow an account? Maybe the top 2 or 3 things that when you look in the rearview mirror now and you see those things that you've done in the past, what are the things that you can tell somebody that has just purchased a new funded account or has been trading for a short period of time, what do you tell them, and what have you learned yourself coming down the lane here?
I would tell them, go slow. This isn't going to happen overnight. You're not going to, buy a brand new car within your first year. This is a marathon. Take your time. Go with 100 shares, if not 50, just to start out, and get used to how the market trades. The market isn't trading the same way it did when I first started. It's just not. The market, you either adapt or you're not going to be there. Don't go in with too much size thinking you can handle it, because you're not going to handle it. If you're in a stock, and let's say it's $20+, you want to go in with 3,000 shares. For the student account, you can do that. You can go in 3,000 shares. That's going to move $30 every penny against you. What if that stock shoots up 50 cents? Are you going to have the mental discipline to try to cover when it goes against you? What's your trading plan? I write out my trading plans. I then put them in a spreadsheet, and I record where my risk is at, where what my reward's going to be, where I'm going to take a partial at. You have to take your time. No one gets this overnight. You have to take time to develop that skill, that muscle memory of what I'm gonna do when the stock goes with my plan, what am I gonna do when the stock goes against my plan. And I suggest creating a group outside, of some trading friends. I have trading friends I talk to on a regular basis. Scott's one of them, and I reach out when you want to discuss, hey, I'm seeing this, what do you see? Things like that. Never go in full size starting out. Wait. I've learned to wait. I use 5-minute intervals, and I would wait the first, second, third candle, so 15 minutes after the market opens, before I decide to make a trade now. Because the first 15 minutes is usually it's noise. Sometimes you can catch something good. It'll spike up and then come down, but after the first 15 minutes, then it'll pick the direction it wants to go. I think EXEL was a perfect example of that on a 5-minute chart. By the third candle, you can see it's going to go down. That's advice I'd give to new traders.
I think that's great. I think it's great. Okay, and Matt, do you, I guess the other question would be, when you compare, because we do have a lot of traders that are on different platforms, why don't you talk for a couple of minutes on the CFD platform versus either Thinkorswim or anything that you've had the experience with, and you don't need to sugarcoat it. It can be good or bad or whatever you like for it. Sure.
Okay. I've used I think 3 or 4 platforms. CFD has been one of them. I've just gotten used to Thinkorswim. I've tried the CFD platform, and it's great for for executing my trades. But when I try to customize the way I do for my Thinkorswim, I just didn't have the patience to take the time or effort to do it. It's what your eyes are used to. What are you comfortable with at the end of the day? SureTrader was one I used to use, and I couldn't use it. I've gotten to know my way around Thinkorswim pretty well. But if you start off with the Tradenet platform, or the CFD platform, that's perfectly fine. I mean, you may be able to use it better than I can. You'll probably taken the time to develop and invest into it, the effort that it's going to take to learn the ins and outs of it. Like I can create the charts and my indicators with a click of the mouse now of Thinkorswim, just because I've used it so much. That's about it.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, again, there's like we used to say in the automobile industry, there's a butt for every seat. Actually, used to say there's an ass for every seat. But depending, you might go to a car lot. You look at a car and you think to yourself, there's a lime green car sitting there, and I think this is you talking, you in general, anybody saying that's the ugliest vehicle in the world. And lo and behold, that dealer sells that vehicle in the next week to somebody who thinks it's the best thing since sliced bread. So the comment, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't sugar-coated, and it's not a paid announcement from Matthew, but Thinkorswim in my book is very complex to me, and I like something a little simpler. To somebody like that trades with like Matthew does, they love it. The charting, all the stuff that goes around it, it's awesome. So to each his own. It's whatever works, whatever turns you profitable, whatever you feel comfortable with. A lot of people will say, what brings you, what brought you to the dance, and that's what I use. And I do that with my Fidelity platform here in the United States. I tell people, they ask me, well, what platform do you trade with here in the States? I say, well, I trade with Fidelity Active Trader Pro, but I don't recommend it. Well, why don't you recommend it? Because it's not that good. They're not great. But I use it because I've been using it for 20 years.
Yeah.
So, that's just something that brought me to the dance. It's something I'm used to. So to Matthew's point, that's really, really good.
Yeah. It's whatever you cut your teeth on, what your eyes are used to. And I know there's other traders out there that use it the same way I do, and it's perfectly fine. It's whatever suits you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, traders, Matthew, I really appreciate you taking the time, and we're going to do this each and every Friday around 11:30. It gives us a little bit of a, when the day is a little bit slower on a Friday, we like to put this in there. It's important to me to share with all of you. We have over 500 traders, or almost 500 traders here in the trading room. Each one of you has a unique setup. There's no two trade setups the same. And all of you guys that have been asking to share information, I think this is one of the ways that makes Tradenet a little bit unique. It's one of the ways where you as a trader can give back. And it's one of the ways for the community, the family, if you will, the brothers and sisters of Tradenet to share what they're going through. You would do that on a normal basis with your family. So if this is truly your trading family, why wouldn't you share some knowledge like Matt Diamond has done, like Matt Coleman has done, and it's just great. So we're going to continue this on, and if you want to be part of this, go ahead and email me at scott@tradenet.com. And if you want to do this next week, email me like this, and I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of emails. So, I'll take it under advisement. I'll stack everybody up, and we'll let that roll. If we need to do two a week, we can do that. But I want to make this an ongoing thing to where you can share it. If you don't want to email me and barrage me with emails, then you can wait till the following weeks when you feel comfortable with some pictures, with sharing, so on and so forth, and we can go from there. So, and that's okay. I get 500 emails anyway, so I'm okay with another 500. But my thank you to Matt. Matthew, anything else you want to say about anything at all, about trading, anything?
You get out of it what you put into it. If you think you're going to roll out of bed and, just click a couple buttons and you think you're going to make money that way, it's not going to happen. It's just not. You got to put time, you got to put effort, and you got to develop it.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Well, again, Matthew, thank you so much. And follow Matthew. Go ahead and put your Instagram on there so we can light you up on Instagram.
All right.
Get you a little bump on Insta. And I follow Matt all the time. We communicate. Shoot, Matt, we communicate 24/7, don't we?
Pretty much. Late at night, early in the morning, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I'm always active, and I know Matthew is too. And anything you want to bounce off of Matthew, I'm sure he'll enjoy that communication. But again, my friend, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate you, and appreciate the rest of the community. So we'll go back to trading. I'm going to actually turn it over to Michael right now with a sound test. We'll let Michael take over, and I will be back at 1:30 this afternoon to take into the afternoon session. So Matthew, have a great weekend, and Michael, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you guys hanging in there with us.
I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you, Matthew.
Right, bye-bye.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.